don't even know how to start this. Hey everyone, it's Katie here. I just wanted to give you guys an update on some things because it's been a hot minute since I posted any sort of content other than like stories on my Instagram. And there's some changes I'm gonna need to make in the way that I go about making content, but then there's also some things that you guys need to know so that way it can, I don't know, be kind of like a smoother process. I don't know. These are the types of videos that I don't like to make because part of me, like, it's not that I feel like no one's gonna care about my health issues. It's just like, I want to make content that you can use, and I feel like this is like, you can't really use this, and so I just struggle to make content about this. But at the same time, like, there's been some recent changes and I just figured I needed to talk about it. So I think I've posted a couple videos on TikTok and YouTube about how I've struggled with long COVID for, it's coming up on about 5 years. And it's been a roller coaster to say the least. There have been some really good days, there have been some really bad days. I've just kind of learned how to manage the symptoms and learned how to cope. And I guess for a long time I just kind of accepted that all I can do is function and survive. Like, there is no happiness, there is no thriving. Like, I don't even know what that means anymore, what that even looks like. And so that's why it's like I pushed through my last year of high school, I pushed through the first 2 years of college, doing everything all the time, and I just kind of accepted, well, as long as I can function, even if I literally feel miserable every single day of my life, then at the very least I can function and finish my degree, get a job, build wealth, like, you know, build a career that I'm proud of, and that will be fine. And then, as many of you know, I've talked about it a little bit, back in June, I got a really bad COVID infection, and that's why I had to drop classes at university and make some changes, not only in my education plan, but also in my life. And so this year, it's kind of been a revamp of like doctor's appointments and seeing specialists, trying some treatments, and honestly just resting. But recently I got a diagnosis, and it was very much like a bittersweet, not exactly bittersweet, but it was a diagnosis that there were many layers to it. There were many feelings and emotions, and it kind of changed my mindset on my life, my perspective on things. It's begun to change some of my career goals, all that fun stuff. So recently I was diagnosed, finally, officially diagnosed with dysautonomia and POTS. And basically what dysautonomia is, because POTS is a form of dysautonomia, I feel like people know more of what POTS is versus dysautonomia, but anyways, dysautonomia is basically when your nervous system is PO'd from a virus, injury, anything like that. There are genetic forms of it, but mine was brought about due to COVID. And so basically, literally the way I explain it to people is like, so you know how your body's supposed to work? Yeah, mine doesn't do that. Like, that's kind of the best way to put it, because it can affect every part of your body. It can affect every function, whether that's joint pain or GI issues or headaches. fatigue, there's a plethora of symptoms due to dysautonomia. And I remember sitting in the doctor's office and, I started crying because on one hand, after like 5 years, not almost 5 years, of just feeling invalidated by doctors and feeling like it was all in my head, that I was going crazy, and just really not understanding why I always feel like trash when every test comes back normal. And that's kind of what started this lack of content on here, is I had a blood test, because I get like yearly blood tests for my physical, and so I'd gotten a blood test done, and of course everything came back normal, and so it just really sent me into like a deep depressive state for a hot minute. And I just didn't feel like making content because I was just so down. And then I got the diagnosis and I've kind of been dealing with that. But anyway, so on one hand, I felt validated because validation is important. That's what I've learned through various health struggles. Validation is important. Not only is it important for your sanity, it's just important that you know what's going on with your own body, and doctors validate you, not just your symptoms, but like your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. And with long COVID, not only is it a newer virus, but it can, there's like 200 plus symptoms that can be associated with long COVID. And so it's just sometimes nearly impossible to treat and diagnose. And literally dysautonomia in itself, it's kind of diagnosed through ruling everything else out. So there's no really test that officially says, oh, this blood work or this scan, this shows dysautonomia. It's just diagnosed through ruling things out. So anyways, so I finally felt validation, but then on the other hand, it's most of the time it's a lifelong chronic condition. And I guess I've really looked at the long COVID through a lens of this is temporary. COVID caused this within my body. One day they're going to find treatments, there's going to be a cure, and I will feel better. I will get back to my old normal self that can do a billion things at once and can handle a bunch of things and doesn't struggle so much with the mental health issues and this, that, and the other thing. And I guess with the dysautonomia, it's not to say that in the future there won't be a cure for long COVID, dysautonomia included, but I think it's putting the label on what I'm feeling towards something that there is no cure for. It kind of forced me to look at it through a different lens. So it's just been a hard time. And then just, with each infection I get, the infection itself gets worse, but then also the long COVID symptoms themselves get worse. And so it's just really made me question, will I be able to finish my degree? Will I ever be able to have the university experience that many of us dream of having? The time of your life when you're supposed to be able to eat ramen every night for dinner and stay up late, if not pull an all-nighter, and go out with your friends and have study groups and live on campus and just have this constant state of fun chaos surrounding you, something that I've never been able to have. And I guess just when I was growing up, and this is part of the reason why I even started this platform, when I was growing up, I always viewed college as this is going to be the time where I can live it up and I can make friends that are going to last a lifetime. And because it's when I was in public school, you know, I didn't have any friends. I really had no one. Like, I literally called myself the lone wolf because I didn't have any friends. I was pretty lonely, but then at the same time, I was a total introvert, and so I was kind of okay with it. And I always got along better with my teachers, and whenever I would talk to my teachers about it, like the bullying and just feeling alone, they would say, well, don't worry, once you get to college, you're gonna find your group, you're gonna have so much fun, and you're gonna realize people are gonna start maturing a little bit more, and somewhat, and you're gonna be able to have the time of your life. And so I guess that's what helped me get through middle school and high school, was the notion that, okay, college, that's going to be the best days of my life, and I'm gonna feel the greatest. And I guess just as I've gotten into college, I've realized some of the things are just plain overrated, but there really are no expectations set for what college even looks like. And that's why I wanted to start this platform, is to set better expectations and kind of call some things out, like, hey, this isn't right, or this isn't correct, or this is misinformation, or this is something you need to know, you know, whatever it is. Because I didn't know what to expect, especially being a first-gen student. And so I've just kind of been dealing with that as well, of honestly, college has kind of been the worst time of my life. And I don't mean that to sound like super dramatic. My life overall has been pretty good. And I have made some friends that I know are gonna last a lifetime, and I've had so much fun, and I have done all these things. But I guess what I mean by that is this is the time when I've been the most sick, the most chronically ill. And so I can't pull all-nighters. I can't have ramen every night for dinner, else I would have terrible reflux and terrible GI issues. Like, I have to be so careful with everything I eat, everything I do. I have to constantly be pacing myself. And I don't feel like the young whippersnapper that I am supposed to be. And so that's kind of what I mean by it. And so I keep hoping that one day I'm going to be able to feel better, feel happiness again, which I honestly am kind of starting to get there as I've been processing some of this and accepting some things. But I want to have a job. I want to have a career. You know, I mean, I don't want to just get the degree just to say I did. Like, I want to use it. I want to be able to have a full-time job and get promotions and network and be respected in the business industry and work with other business leaders and professionals and create projects, and whether it's advertisements or marketing campaigns or whatever it is, do things that I'm proud of. And right now, I guess it just kind of feels like those goals are unattainable because of how sick I am. And so that's been kind of hard to come to terms with, of, you know, depending on what happens, I may never be able to do some of those things in the way that I want to. So yeah, so it's been a hard time. So all of that to say is I still want to keep this platform going, because there have been many days throughout the summer and even now that thinking of ideas and planning and even creating content when I feel good enough to do so, this is what brings me joy, because not only do I get to have fun and be creative, but I get the opportunity to help people and inspire my followers to chase their dreams. Honestly, I mean, it sounds cheesy, but it's kind of true. I mean, by sharing knowledge and opportunities, you know, that's powerful. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that and share a little bit more personal parts of my life than I have before. And obviously, as you can see, it's not my forte, but you know, I can only do the best I can. So yes, I hope to be back to making content a lot more very soon, because I do miss it. It's very fun for me. And hopefully I'm going to include some skits, because I have some ideas for some skits that I want to do as well. They're going to be pretty funny, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for following along with this journey, both in college and managing a new disability. And I hope to see you soon. I'll see you in the next one.